All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praise, glory, honor goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Coming at y'all with another live class through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This last live class will be called World War III Updates, Israel Attack by Hamas, Proxy War, etc. Various topics, live class. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleague,
Yeah,
Shabbatha.
yeah. This is Shabbatha. Coming back at you again. The Lions of Judah Jeshurun. Uh, Coming to you with more information and scriptures on what's going on. This is a exciting time to be alive right now. Being a follower of the Hamashiach in this truth, man. Because as we see these things going on, we know more and more that the end is drawing near and near and near. Because some of the events that's happened over the past few weeks, like for example, um, well, a while ago, the Capitol was attacked. Some time ago, January 6th, that's the first time that's ever happened in American history, right? And recently, last week, the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, he
Hey, keep
was
your
just
mic off.
ousted
Keep your,
as out of his seat. That's that's
wait,
the first
wait,
time that's ever happened in American history, you know? And and as I explained before, all of these things that's happening in the earth is like a chisel being chipped away at this current kingdom that we're currently living in under Babylon the Great. And so we see just nothing but prophecy with this war that's going on in Israel, right? So
Con.
before we get into the scriptures, I want to share my screen and show you uh the leader, one of the prime ministers of Israel, Netanya- Netanyahu. We're gonna get his word exactly. Show you.
Dates. Israel.
Oh, Slakia, that's the wrong one. Bear with me one moment. Yeah, there it is.
ישראל, אזרחי ישראל, אנחנו במלחמה, לא במבצע, לא בסבבים, במלחמה.
Right, so here we have Netanyahu telling the citizens, the Israelis of Israel, that we are at war, not in an operation or in infighting rounds, but at war.
הבוקר חמאס פתח במתקפת פתע
Hamas launched a murderous surprise attack against the state of Israel in its
רצחני נגד מדינת ישראל ונגד אזרחיה. אנחנו בתוך זה משעות הבוקר המוקדמות.
and they did this right on the morning of what was it? It was on a Shabbat,
I think on their Shabbat, on
right?
their so-called Shabbat.
כינסתי את ראשי מערכת הביטחון, הנחיתי קודם כל לטהר את היישובים מהמחבלים שחדרו פנימה. הפעולה הזאת
Right, and so they're calling them terrorists, all of the damn near all of the Muslims that the Western Edomite gave them a name and they call them terrorists. All the Muslims, all of the jihadists, uh, that's under that bracket. And there's reason to believe that Iran is funding um Hamas in their efforts to take back land away from the Israeli people, right?
מתבצעת בשעות הללו. במקביל הוריתי לבצע
But you see how hypocritical it is for uh, the Western Edomites to be calling the Muslims over in the so-called Middle East terrorists when the Western the westernized Edomites has been going around the face of the earth, terrorizing other nations of people and enforcing and indoctrinating people with their democracy. They the biggest terrorists on the face of the earth right now. And considering that they have their weapons are uh, the best weapons are on the face of the earth in the hands of so-called Americans. So when it comes to pushing uh, an agenda or pushing uh, propaganda, the westernized Edomites are at the top of the totem pole in that regards, because you don't see
Con.
us or too many people watching the news from the perspective of a uh, Hamas Muslim or a Iranian Muslim. You can barely even get a hold of RT News, Russian News TV, and see their opinion on certain politics or so-called religion, or ideologies. The mass majority of things that we consume here in Babylon the Great is from the beast itself, right? So continue on in this video.
לבצע גיוס מילואים נרחב ולהשיב מלחמה שערה בעוצמה ובהיקף שהאויב לא הכיר. האויב ישלם מחיר שהוא לא ידע מותו. אני קורא בינתיים לכל אזרחי ישראל להישמע בקפדנות להנחיות הצבא, להנחיות פיקוד העורף. אנחנו במלחמה ואנחנו ננצח בה.
Right. So there you go. There you have it, man. And this war has been I think it's going on a 3-day um it's been going on for 3 days now. Uh and it's in certain European powers are calling for the end of it, but all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We rejoice when we see these things, man. We love seeing these things, because it shows the world more and more, and it confirms what the scriptures say, man. Those so-called Jewish people, those Israeli people, those aren't the people of God. They just nothing but converts, man. And if they
Bring it out.
were the real people of God, then why isn't the God of Israel protecting those people over there?
And to interject too, what I'm saying, on the Shabbat, what I'm saying, the Most High, he spoke out for his people, what I'm saying, he really lift up a standard, what I'm saying, and if they keep the commandments, what I'm saying, following the laws, the Most High should have helped them, what I'm saying, if they the real Jews, but we see that something don't look right,
Con.
through the spirit.
Yes, that's right. Um, let's get a preset real fast. Let me close this. Share screen.
You'll get a precept real quick? Or you was gonna get a quick precept?
Yeah. You got
Okay.
something you want? I
Cause
can hit yours first.
I was gonna
What you
get
want?
Jeremiah 14:2
Jeremiah 14:2.
because the Jews that the Bible is talking about don't look like them over there.
All right, this is Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof language. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. Go ahead, break it down.
So it say the key word is the Jews are black. So as back into the ground. So how can they be Jews over there? And like my brother said, if God was with them, then why they not getting helped out over there? This is my take on it. I feel like they getting judged by the Most High, and I feel like the time is closing for real. And the things that's everything that's happening is coming out the word of the Lord.
Con. Right. So let's get into prophecy, because prophecy is the key factor in determining who the real people of God is. So let's get uh Isaiah the second chapter. Uh We can start at verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it, right? So they established the state of Israel through with the Balfour declarations. And what year was it?
1948.
Right, in 1948, that's when they established the state of Israel, right? So, according to prophecy, if they was the real Jews established the Lord's house, then they would fit. Then that would fit this prophecy. Let's go to verse 3.
Con.
And many people shall go and say, "Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem," right? So if that is the real Jerusalem over there that they established right in the 1900s, uh, we will see different nations flowing into it and asking the Jews there to teach them the law, right?
Con.
Uh, also in verse 2 it says that the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, meaning it's going to be the exalted government on the face of the earth, right? So the Jerusalem over there now that was built in the 19 what year was it again?
1948, and they converted to Judaism in 740 AD.
Right, exactly. So if 1948 was the establishment of that mountain, their so-called mountain, then they will be fitting, then they will be fulfilling these prophecies, right? Verse 4 is the key here, right? And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Here's the key right here. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So this is how we do this prophecy and many other, a plethora of many other prophecies. We can see that those Jewish people over there do not fit the prophecy in Isaiah 2, right? Nations shall not
Con.
learn war anymore, meaning when the true Jews are in authority, when they are fully established by the Lord, there won't be any more wars. Uh, their swords will be turned into plowshares, meaning their instruments of war will be turned into instruments of agriculture, right? Economics, right? They're going to be plowing the fields, working in the fields, but we don't see any of that over there. What we see is a raging religion, which is Islam, going to war with Judaism over there, man.
The
Before
same two nations that took us down.
Khan, exactly. And after the real Jews are established, after Jerusalem is really established, there isn't supposed to be any more other religions on the face of the earth, like Judaism, like Islam, like Hinduism, many of these other religions, they all supposed to be destroyed by by that time, right? By this time, uh I mean, it's just I'm gonna keep reading down. Oh, no, no, no. I think that's it on that. But the key point that I'm pointing out here is what's highlighted on your screen right there. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation anymore. Oh, Slakia. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Right? Uh, anyone else got a precept before I show
Con.
the next video?
Con. Get Leviticus, Salakia, get Luke 21, verse 24. This is another precept. Yahweh Shah spoke about the current, the last state of the Israelites, and where would they be, And it reads Luke 21 and 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword. Who are they? The Israelites. And shall be led away captive into all nations. Okay. So the real Jews as a whole is not in Israel. Okay.
Con.
It's saying, and they, so like, let me read that part again. And shall be led captive, which is slaves, into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. All right. So that land over there is trodden down with non-Israelites, for lack of a better term, Gentiles. Okay. So that right there proves that they are not the real Jews of the Bible, you know.
Con, that's right. And
But I
so,
yield.
yes, those Jewish converts over there, they don't have uh a history of being slaves to all nations of people upon the face of the earth. The the farthest they can go back into proving is that they were indentured servants, right, to other European counterparts, but they can't say that they were slaves to Muslims Arabs. They can't say that they were slaves to Indian people. They can't say that they were slaves to Asians, man. They can't say none of this. But our people, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans of indigenous descent, we can say that we were slaves to the Asians. We can say that we were slaves to the Indians. We can say that we were slaves to the so-called white man. We can say that we were slaves to all nations of races of people upon the face of the earth, man. And we have the history to back that up. Um, so I'm gonna get another witness to solidify what was spoken in Isaiah the second chapter. I think it's Micah 4 in verse 3. Micah 4 and 3. Because again, if that is the real Jerusalem over there, then they should be fulfilling this prophecy right here. Micah 4 and 3. And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn any more. A second witness to what was spoken by the mouth of the prophet Isaiah, right? So because the Lord said, out of two or three witnesses shall a matter be established. In Yahweh Shai's words, which he spoke in, what was that, in Luke the 21st chapter, the 21st verse, Yahweh Shai is a witness, and he had Yahweh in him, right? So his words speak alone, because he spoke nothing but the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? So we gonna come back to this, and we're just gonna show you more videos of the mayhem that's going over there in the so-called Middle East. I'll share. Slovakia. I'm gonna show you Slovakia. Okay. Yeah, this right here. Slovakia.
And also while he's bringing up that scripture, Salakia, is it finna play?
It's an article, but you go ahead and say your piece.
Okay, so yeah, and also while he's bringing up the article, it's so many scriptures: Hosea 1 and 10, Romans 7, Romans 9. You know what I'm saying? So what we saying is this: the Israelites, the true Israelites, you gonna know them by the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. All right, the Israelites is at the bottom of society. The real Israelites and Jews are at the bottom of society. So, we are destitute. We don't get, I just seen an article yesterday before I went to work. They sent 3.8 billion, dollars to Israel a year. We don't have that. We don't have that luxury. Okay. But go ahead, Doc.
All right, so this is another article. Where was I was looking for a statistic here or a let's go back up to the top. It's probably somewhere in here. But the total amount of people killed was like 900 people killed, over 2,600 people was wounded, and Hamas, the Muslims, they started to take hostages and take hostages back to Gaza, where they said they was going to be executing some of the hostages or whatever. Uh, uh, right, so U.S. not planning to put boots on ground in Israel's war against Hamas. Right, the White House said there is no intention to put U.S. boots on the ground. White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby tells reporters after being asked during a briefing about a scenario in which the U.S. could join Israel's war against Hamas if need, and if Aslakia, if we need, and it's an if, but if we need to go back to Capitol Hill for additional funding support for Israel, we will absolutely do that, Kirby says, right? So the Lord is really boxing America into a corner, right? You got you got Ukraine's war with Russia. The U.S. is funding that. You got China getting ready to invade Taiwan. You got America funding Taiwan, and now with this new war that just sprung up, you got Hamas and Gaza uh invading Israel, and now America is trying to send money, is trying to send funds over to the fake state of Jerusalem over there, So the Lord is really boxing in America, and so pretty much America uh is going to end up eventually having to stick its nose uh, in all the conflicts that's going to come up on the face of the earth, man. Pushing America closer and closer and closer to World War III, right? The spokesperson says the White House cannot confirm definitely that Hamas is holding Americans hostage after U.S. President Joe Biden said earlier this evening that Americans are likely among the hostages, right? So, and this is why the Lord exiled us from Israel, right? From that area over there, man. We're not supposed to be over there, man, because we in exile. We supposed to be on punishment, um, carrying out our sentence, that the Lord pronounced against us, man. Right? So if you being disobedient to the Lord and trying to go back to the land, and you find yourself wound up as a hostage from a in the hands of a heathen, well, the only thing we can do is try to pray for you and try to hope the Lord get you out of that situation, but this is why it is important to not ignore prophecies, man. We know our people want to go home so bad, but it's not the right time to go home, man. Uh, the land is desolate over there, and with this war, it's becoming more and more and more desolate, Um, I'm gonna keep reading in this. Um, we have to accept this grim possibility, so we're going to keep at this, Kirby says, right? White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby tells reporters in a briefing that the U.S. was months away from successfully brokering a normalization agreement between Israel and Saudi Arabia from before Hamas surprise attack against Israel on Friday morning, right? So, and this is just the weakness of America right now, man. I mean, you can pretty much you peon Americans, man. You can pretty much blame Biden for this, because if President Trump was in office, man, none of this stuff would have been happening. Russia would have never invaded Ukraine. Uh, American soldiers wouldn't foolishly got up out of Afghanistan or wherever place that was. I mean, it's just this president just been making foolish decision after foolish decision and hardening up the destruction of this place, because I'm gonna try to find this video. Biden had sent like $6 billion to Iran, right? And kind of eased on the what's the word I'm looking for? America eased on the sanctions that they put on Iran. So there's speculations from news reporters here in America that uh Iran gave some of that $1 billion, that money, to Hamas, to stage this attack on Israel, right? So you can blame your president for this, man, because he's funding every all these different heathen nations that have nothing to do with America, while making your life a living hell here in America, man. Right? So let me close this out. Uh, Con, you got something to chime in? I need to look for this video real fast.
Yeah, Khan. Yeah, the last thing you just said about him funding Hamas, that's tough right there. You know what I'm saying? You working with the other operations to bring down your economy, uh possibly the country and allies, man. So that just lets you know that we got a guy who don't have the understanding. That's the president, what I'm saying, the commander in chief of Babylon.
Con. Yeah, I found it. Here it is. I'm gonna play it right now.
Joining me right now to discuss the state of affairs is Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton. He served in the U.S. Army and was deployed to both Iraq and Afghanistan. Senator, thanks very much for being here this morning. Please assess the situation.
Well, Maria, first off, on behalf of all Arkansans, I want to express my deepest condolences and sympathy to the nation of Israel and to all the families who lost loved ones or had loved ones wounded. I also want to express to the nation of Israel that we stand foursquare behind them in this war to destroy Hamas and its war-making and governing capabilities, because this is something unlike Israel has faced probably in 50 years since the Yom Kippur War. President Biden said yesterday that Israel has America's rock solid and unwavering support. And that's fine that he said that yesterday, but we have to be with them in the long run. There's a long history, especially with President Biden or President Obama before him, after 4, 7, 10, 14 days of Israeli operations against terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah, backed by Iran, of going wobbly, of demanding restraint, of seeking a ceasefire. We can't do that this time. President Biden often says that we're going to support Ukraine for as long as it takes. After yesterday's savage butchery in Israel, surely President Biden will also support Israel for as long as it takes to destroy Hamas.
Well, this is a good point, and I'd like to understand better what that support looks like. What specifically does the administration mean when it says we will support Israel? Is that humanitarian efforts? Is that armament and weaponry? What does that mean?
Maria, what Israel needs now more than anything is freedom of action. There's no question that the Israeli Defense Forces can destroy Hamas inside the Gaza Strip, but they need the freedom of action and time to destroy Hamas. That takes the form of American military, diplomatic, and political support. The military support may require resupply of things like interceptors for their missile defense systems, or artillery shells, rockets, missiles, small arms ammunition. It may take more intangible forms of support, like mission planning for what will be very complex urban operations, or intelligence support as well. In addition to that military support, the United States needs to provide diplomatic and political support. Again, it's nice to see European leaders lighting up their national legislatures with the Israeli flag. But when Hamas starts trotting out dead bodies of civilian casualties caused by Hamas's use of civilians as human shields in the days ahead, and European leaders and the United Nations and liberals in the Democratic Party start pressuring President Biden to demand a ceasefire, demand that Israel withdraw, it's essential that President Biden not give an inch, that he give Israel the time and the freedom of action it needs to destroy Hamas. Again, if President Biden can stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes, I hope President Biden can stand with Israel for as long as it takes.
Right. So you see, the Lord is like is really finding ways to pull America into these many different wars, man. You know, uh forcing America to support this over here, forcing America to support that over there, forcing America to support these people over there, and it's pissing off NATO and its European allies, which is soon is going to turn on them, and utterly destroy America, for being a whore and going around uh committing fornication with these other nations.
Well, you make a good point, because there is debate in terms of any more money going to Ukraine. Do you think you'll see pushback on a congressional level in terms of providing the money or humanitarian or weaponry needed to Israel from Congress?
No, I think we'll have widespread bipartisan support to provide Israel the aid it needs. I'm not sure that's necessary right now. The president has plenty of authorities under existing law to transfer weapons or to provide mission planning or intelligence support to Israel. But what they really need to do in the administration, up to and including the president, is to provide that political and diplomatic support to Israel when it begins to face pressure from European nations or the United Nations or a bunch of liberal human rights activist do-gooders that want them to withdraw from Gaza or have a ceasefire. They need the time, the freedom of action to destroy Israel. The United States can provide that to them.
Senator, I want to get your take on the support or lack of support that this administration has shown Iran. Everyone has said over the last 48 hours that Iran is behind this Hamas attack on Israel. About a month ago, Iran claimed that the money that was unleashed, the $6 billion, that there will be no restrictions on that money released in the U.S. prisoner exchange, despite the fact that the administration continues to say that money will only be used for humanitarian purposes. Walk us through how we arrived here. And here is John Ratcliffe, the former director of national intelligence, on with Fox and Friends about an hour ago, as he was asked about the administration's pushback that the $6 billion that was unleashed has nothing to do with the attack this morning. Watch.
Those words ring hollow from the Biden administration. They're disingenuous at best. Look, it's not even just this $6 billion, which clearly is going to further enrich Iran. It's closer to $60 billion. If you look at what the Biden administration has done to help this Islamic terrorist regime in Iran, by stop enforcing sanctions, by lifting restrictions, by allowing Iranian oil to increase by 650% over the last 2 years.
Senator, your thoughts?
Well, Hamas and Hezbollah and other terrorist groups in the Middle East are proxies of Iran. And an operation of the complexity of scale yesterday could not have happened in almost all likelihood without Iranian approval and probably Iranian involvement in planning. But as we look forward about what President Biden should do relative to Israel, we should also think about what he's done relative to Iran and what he needs to do now. For 3 years, the president has appeased Iran, the world's worst state sponsor of terrorism. It's not just the $6 billion that was released from sanctions controls last month. It's $10 billion that was released from Iraq into Iran. It's looking the other way on more than 80 attacks against American troops in the Middle East, or allowing Iran to threaten shipping in the Persian Gulf, allowing Iran without serious consequence to arm Russia to kill more Ukrainians, releasing hundreds of millions of dollars to the Palestinian Authority since the very beginning of this administration. These are all acts of appeasement, concessions, and weakness that embolden the leaders in Tehran as well as Hamas to believe that they could launch this brazen, savage attack against Israel. They've been killing Americans. They've been killing Israelis. They've been killing Ukrainians via Russia. They've been killing their own people through repression and crackdown over the last 3 years. Why would these terrorist leaders think that it was going to be any different this time around?
All right, so that's all I need on that video. But yeah, you see, like Biden, his administration gave Iran like 66 billion US dollars, man. And you know, Iran is going to help out their Muslim brothers, man. Like, and I can't even fathom, like, why in the hell would he give such amounts of money to a country, to a nation that got completely different ideologies than America, man? Because they still chopping off gay people's heads over there in Iran, you know, which is the righteous thing to do, if I might add. But it's just the things that America supports, Iran do not support. So why in the hell is Biden giving them this large amount of money, man? Right? These people that's in power in our government are corrupt and accept money for what's the word I'm looking for? They're easy to be bought out. They accept money for policy decisions, man, which Joe Biden has done, right? How in the hell somebody who spent their entire life in government is all of a suddenly a millionaire, man? Because you could go online and look up the average salary of a politician, man. You know, they don't make enough money to have 5 to 6 $7 million houses, man. They don't make that much money from government, man. So they selling influence, man, policy decisions, you know, and it's coming back and it's hurting America, man, you know. But go ahead, Ak.
Khan, if you could, Ak Baba Kashad, get Psalm 64 verse 8. Because yeah, man, they telling on each other, you know, and you know, Joe Biden, you know, he's not street smart. Why would you give them $6 billion, man? You know,
84 and 8.
64 verse 8, Salakia. You know, man, these Edomites, they snitching, they telling on themselves, man. Psalm 64 verse 8, and it reads, so
let me read it and you break it down. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
Right, so their tongue is falling upon themselves, man. You know, they telling on each other, man. They airing out their dirty laundry, man. You know, for a lack of a better term, is, you know, it's playing upon tables, man. You know,
Con, that's right. And it's just yes. Go ahead, Art.
You get one more precept, Baba Kushah, Job 5 and 12. Yeah, so you know they airing out each other's dirty laundry, man. You know, one thing you hear President Biden, you know, we know he can't hold a sentence. You know, he makes no sense. He's not street smart, you know. And you know, Donald Trump, you know, to me, he was a better candidate, even though we're not supposed to vote for these heathens, but it just make more sense to just put Trump in there and you know, and not Joe Biden, you know. It's the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 12, and it reads, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. All right. And this is why Babylon is so much in debt. You know what I'm saying? There are so many billions or no trillions of
Trillions.
dollars in debt. You know?
God.
Shalom, humble lion. Yahabashim Yahusha Thumb. What he said? You can read that, Shops.
Oh, what it say? These presidents and politicians are stealing money through war, military funding, and other BS programs. Yeah, that's absolutely right. It's the war machine. You know, the only real way America be making money is through, uh, uh, you know, selling warfare. The longer they can prolong a war, the more money they get through that warfare. You know, um, you got something else?
Khan, you got it, Doc.
Yeah, let's get Jeremiah 16:14, right? Jeremiah 16:14. Um, right. This is Jeremiah 16:14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, right? So when we in the land of the Lord, after we deliver by the chariots, we will no longer be seeing this. Well, we it's gonna be remembered, but we're not gonna be seeing this in reverence for the Lord, right? Verse 15. But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers, right? So we are living right now in the land of the north, right? This is North America that we're living in, right? So we're going to be taken up from here, from this place, not just 3 tribes, right? Because if you ask them Jewish people over there in Jerusalem today, they can only account for Benjamin, Levi, and Judah, right? Where the other tribes at? You know, where the other 9 tribes at? You know, so this prophecy don't fit them either, right? Because it says, um, "I will bring them again into their land that I gave them." So we're going to be coming back into the land. All 12 tribes is going to be coming together into the land. You know, so this is why the things is happening over there the way it's happening, you know. But I want to show you this before I move on to the next scripture. Uh, this article, and then we're gonna quote some of the words of the Lord Yahweh Shai. Where is it? Slakia, bear with me one moment.
I got a precept after y'all get y'all precepts.
Come on. Oh, here it is. Is this what I want? Yeah, this is it right here. Right. So the article from Daily Mail, uh, a world split by Middle East massacre. Western nations show support for Israel, while others desecrate its flag and applaud onslaught in solidarity, solidarity, solidarity with Hamas, right? So
Khan.
the world is completely divided, man, right? Because the only one who's supporting uh Israel is these westernized nations, you know.
Hey,
Go,
Shabs, you know,
go
just
ahead.
in Chicago, yesterday they were the Palestinians that's in Chicago,
Uh-huh.
they were protesting against the Jewish people, man.
Gone.
Yeah, if you could go to YouTube and type in Chicago CBS News, and it's gonna pop up. You know, so they was actually over there in Chicago protesting against the Amalekites, man. These Jewish people in America, you know. So that's so many scriptures pop in my head when I think about watching it when I watch that video, you know. It should say
Protest.
Palestinians when you go there, it should say Palestinians protest in the streets. They was protesting, and they was actually protesting against the Jewish people. And that was just yesterday. You know?
I think
So
I
you could
found it.
you could pull that up. And let me read this scripture because the brother he pulled up a scripture. Isaiah 19 verse 2, and it reads, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother and every one against his neighbor. Yeah, playing upon tables, you know. But yeah, it's the first one right there. Yup, that first one. Now look at this right here. Look at this.
And back home here in Chicago, Palestinian supporters rallied outside of the Israeli consulate near Madison and Canal. They marched through the streets of the Loop. The Chicago Coalition for Justice in Palestine protested against what he calls decades of Israel's brutality and violations of Palestinian national and human rights, and calls the attacks on Israel self-defense operations. And a live look over Gaza City tonight. We are staying on top of developments as they come in online and right here on CBS News Chicago. You can find us on Pluto, Roku, or Fire TV.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying, you see what's going on, man. You know, so somebody like they try to make it seem like those people over there are so peaceful, but they've been bombing them for years, man. You know, so them people over there fighting back, they say enough is enough, man. You know?
Exactly. And you know the Hebrew Israelites, our community, we have no love for them, the fake state of Israel over there, man. We all praying for their destruction, you know, for the simple fact of identity theft, right? And among other things too, you know. So whatever happens to them, man, we wish, you know, curses upon them, man. And they are going to go under the curses as pursuant to what is that, Deuteronomy 30. Let's get that. Yeah, let's get that real fast.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because they shadow banned us from being the true Israelites according to the Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't even speak up against, you know, the crimes and some of the things that they were doing throughout history, man. You can't even, when you speak out, they persecute you, man. So now they getting persecuted. You know what I'm saying? Because the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, is the one that's bringing, you know, these scriptures to pass, man. You know, the brother finna get it, Deuteronomy 30 and 7. You know, it's playing upon tables.
This is Deuteronomy 30 and 1. And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curse which I have set before thee. So the blessings already came upon us all the way up into the time uh of um of King David, right? And a little bit of Solomon, right? And now we under the curses right now, about to get up out of that as soon as the Lord come back and take us out of captivity, right? Which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations. So our people are calling these curses to mind among the various nations that we were scattered unto, right? We got people all over. We got Hebrew Israelite, Akim and Akwat, all over the United States here. Whether it be North America, South America, right? We got brothers up there in Canada doing the work. We got brothers in the UK. We all in the west and east parts of Africa. Brothers is doing a thing in Ethiopia. There's a small remnant of us over there, right? So we calling these curses to mind, you know, and among the nations that we went into captivity with, man. Whether the Lord thy God have driven thee, right? Verse 2, and shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thy heart and with all thy soul, right?
And the Lord, and Salakia King, the Lord knew we was going to break the commandments, because when you get to 15, Deuteronomy 28 verse 15, it say, but if thou shalt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. So the Lord, he knew that the Israelites was gonna break the commandments. You know, that's how powerful the Lord is, man. The Most High Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, he knew he was gonna break the commandments, and that's ultimately why he sent Yahweh Shai. You know. But let me read that scripture the brother got, humble lion, Salakia, Joel 3:10. And it reads, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Khan, playing upon tables.
Right.
But go ahead, King.
So these weak nations are saying that they are strong, man, because at a certain point in time they didn't have missiles, they didn't have nuclear warfare, they didn't have AK 47s, and you know, they didn't have all of these weapons of mass destruction. You know, the state of Israel was just doing however they please, destroying mosques, pushing people out of the state of Israel, you know, doing these wicked things to them, you know. So these people are saying that they are strong now, you know, right? Gaza is saying they strong, you know, they got back support from Iran, from their Muslim brothers, you know. They strapped up now. They ready to roll. They ready to pounce. They ready to take, you know. They ready to kill the infidel, right? And they're screaming Allah Akbar, right? Over and over and over again while they
Hey,
carry
Sabak,
out their orders.
Priest Sabak, he used to do that all the time. He used to say, Allah Akbar Bloom, or whatever how they say
Bloom.
that.
Con.
Hey, what they call it, the jihad, they wild, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You should get that scripture where it say, Ishmael shall be a wild man, and
Con.
his brother's hand, everyone his brother's hand shall be against him. And that's how you know that them people over there, man, them Arabs are Ishmael, you know, because they wild over there, man. I was watching the news what they was doing to the Jewish people. They was taking them out of cars and stuff like that, man. One Jewish woman, she was on her menstrual. She was on the
Yeah.
little girl, you know what I'm saying, on her cycle, and they threw up in the back of the truck. You know, they was stripping the people naked and stuff like that. They wild, man. Taking people hostages. You know, they get back, man. They getting their lick back.
They very
You know,
wild because they're willing to strap a whole bomb on themselves and take
yeah.
a lot of people with them.
You see what happened on so-called 9/11 when they was taking them airplanes and driving them in the you know, in them towers and stuff like that, man. You know?
Right. This is Genesis 16:11. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child. What is this? Hagar, right? That's Hagar. And shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thine affliction. Verse 12. And he will be a wild man. His hand
And them
would be. Go ahead.
and Salakia King, I don't mean to cut you off. And them Ishmaelites in them stores, man, they wild as hell, man. You know, one of the brothers, you know, Elijah, he said that he went to one of the gas stations over there. Ishmael was trying to sell him some type of machine gun or something like that. I'm not making this up, man. I was like, what? He said he was trying to sell him an actual, like, one of them assault rifles, man.
I thought you meant a Gatling gun.
Like one of them like a AK-47 or something like that, like a Draco or whatever them type
Uzi.
of guns is. Yeah, them assault rifles, man.
Yeah, he probably got like a truckload of them, you know.
And that's how Jake getting them guns and stuff like that too, man. From them Arab.
Genesis 16:12, and he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Right. So
Ishmael, wherever the other Shemites at, the Negroes, the Edomites, the Moabites, they in them gas stations is in every city. Okay, in Babylon, you know. from the east to the west from the north to the south.
And it says every man's hand against him, right?
And
Because
the
they
reason why that because Jake be thinking they're gonna blow something up. So they
Mhm.
were like, hell,
There's a reason why they be calling them terrorists. The only people they calling terrorists on the earth, out in the open are Islamic Muslims, right? So every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of his brethren, right? Because you see Ishmael, he's always near his brethren, he don't really be around other nations of people. So let's go back to Deuteronomy 2, verse 3. Then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether the Lord thy God have scattered thee. Verse 4. If any of thine be driven out unto the utmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. So uh we've been scattered and driven, to like the edges of the earth, the corners of the earth, right? So the Lord promised that he's going to come and fetch us from those places, and the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess them, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. Right? So he's gonna circumcise our heart, right? In verse 6, right? Again, over again, verse 7. This is the point that I'm trying to hit, right? And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies, right? And upon them that hate thee, which persecuted thee, right? So these curses from Deuteronomy 28:15 all the way down to 68, he's going to put that on our enemies, right? Those who hate us, right? And the main people who hate us the most upon the face of the earth is the Amalekites. Esau, right? Especially the Amalekites, man. They hate us the most. They literally took our nationality. They literally took our land, and so they gonna pay back double fold for all of those things. The Lord even promised that. What is that? Revelation 2:9, Revelation 3:9, right? So we got backup coming, we just gotta wait it out. But
Oh, I got the scripture where and they shall and I will bless them who bless you, and I will curse them that curse you. That backs up with Salakia Deuteronomy 30:7, So we being cursed right now because we are under the curses.
that's
So
Genesis 12.
you want to get that?
Yeah. Genesis 12:3. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee.
Right. So Israel, we've been under the curses for damn near 2000 over 2,000 years, man. So if they going and I will bless them that bless thee. When have they blessed us? We have been under the
Exactly.
curses.
Yeah, because every single nation upon the face of the earth has cursed us. Like, so none of them have blessed us, at all, right? And this is going all the way back to since when Israel was actually established, The uh Balaam tried to curse us. Um uh he tried to curse us by the will of his own people. Esau wouldn't let our armies pass through their lands. They cursed us then. I mean, it's just all these nations just been cursing us over and over and over again. Tyre and Zidon, we went into a brotherly covenant with them, and they backstabbed us, man. They cursed us. I mean, it's just we can go on and on and on, man. It's just evident, man. Um, but I think that's it on that. You got any more precepts?
No, you got it out.
Let's go back to that article, right? Right.
I think Lil Lawrence probably got a
He got a
precept.
precept.
Yeah, reply.
You want to bring it out? What do you got?
No, I can go ahead.
Okay, con. Let me bring
Oh
that
yeah, I
up
got it. I got
again.
one.
You got it. You got one. Alright. What you got?
Okay. Second it's just 9 and
Second address.
9.
Okay.
And 5.
9 and what?
Hey, Ak, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. He 9 and what?
9 and 5.
This is second address 9 and 5. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
So right. Okay. So the end is already manifested. The Lord already manifested this, and we at the end right now. So it's really a celebration for us, but some might be scared because we done told them plenty of times to get right and get right and get right, and they still want to do all kind of wickedness. So yeah.
Come on. Great precept. That's a mighty precept right there. You know. Because it says like the end is made manifest. Okay.
Hey, Ak, you really could jump up to verse 2 or 3. It say, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, it was just a earthquake in Seattle, a real bad earthquake. It say in uproars of the people. You know what I'm saying? So these people, these Palestinians, they
Come.
protesting right in Chicago, man. So they protesting all around the world because they tired of these damn governments, man. They tired of these damn politicians. Okay. You know, playing upon tables.
I'm gonna finish out this article right here. A world split by Middle East massacre. Western nations show support for Israel. What the hell is this? Block that. Yes, block that. A world split by Middle East massacre. Western nations show support for Israel while others desecrate its flag and applaud onslaught in solidarity with Hamas. The West stands with Israel while the Arab world is supporting Palestine. And there's a buttload of Arab people around the world, you know. So, and also the Hebrew Israelites are celebrating the destruction of Israel too.
Con.
Um,
Hey, Ak, one more thing. Like what you just said is Arabs all around the world, all them gas stations. So if they wanted to do something here, they really could do it.
gone.
Okay. They really can do it, man. If the Most High put the spirit on them to just, you know what I'm saying, just go all out. Hey, we on our way up out of this captivity
Gone.
real soon.
The attack began after Hamas fighters
Come.
blitzed into Israel on paragliders. The world has been divided once again by a bloody and brutal conflict. The world has already been divided, but this is just Esau's propaganda for you. He still wants everyone to believe that they're equal and they all one, you know. They've been preaching that ever since the Greeks, while going around the world and taking people's resources and lands. You know, this is the devil we talking about. You know, look how he talks. He talks like a lamb, right? You know, um, this time in the Middle East, as Palestine and Israel descend into a fight that has claimed the lives of hundreds of civilians in just 1 week. one weekend. Nations across the world are watching violence unfold in the region and appear to have already chosen sides in the conflict, which has so far been the bloodiest weekend in the region for 50 years. You know, local media reports that Israel's death toll has surpassed 700, while Gaza has so far reported at least 370 deaths at time of publication. You know, so so yeah, bro. Like, you know, they over there burning the state of Israel's flag. They burning the American flag. You know, you get all these flags supporting uh the Palestinians. You know, over there in Gaza, right? You know, you got the fake Jewish people. Man, this is just picture completely filled with just nothing but Edomites. You know, this room right here. You know, I mean, if you take one of these guys that's in this crowd right here, and you put him right next to a Edomite here in America, you wouldn't even be able to tell which one is a Jew or not. You know, which is crazy, right? A Jew is is a race, right? Is a blunt line of people. You know, so these are just all
God,
Caucasian people, bro.
not a
Like,
religion.
you're right, exactly. These are just all Caucasian people, bro. Like, people need to put off that stupidity, man, and smell the coffee, man, and realize what's going on. These people have been lying to us for decades, for thousands of years, bro. And the only reason why they still in power is because they have weapons of mass destruction. They have guns, they have artillery, they have missiles, they have nukes. This is why they is still talking and speaking the way that they speak, you know? So that's all I wanted to bring out. But if uh anyone else got something else to pitch in or to say, you can go ahead.
I think we pretty much covered it. If Yarapal got any closing scriptures.
Yeah. I just want to get this last scripture before we get up out of here. Um,
What you need?
uh, uh can you get Second Chronicles 36:16? Because a lot of people thought this wasn't common and thought that we was talking and just saying things.
Con, exactly. Because the scriptures say, preach whether they will listen or forbear, right? But this is Second Chronicles 36:16. But they mocked the messengers of God and
So they
despised his
mocked us.
words
They mocked us and despised his words. Read.
and misused his prophets until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people till there was no remedy.
So what are these people gonna do when the Lord come to this place and destroy this place? You know, prophecy is hidden itself. Prophecy is hidden. It's very much hidden. It's hidden like never before. Like scissor hidden, scissor and dollar sign hidden. Like it's hidden. Prophecy is hidden. And the ones that said that oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know when the Lord coming back. You don't know when the world gonna end. You don't know this and that. Prophecy is hidden. It's hidden. And when and when
Con,
and when and when the martial law and the army start drafting y'all boyfriends and brothers and siblings, you know, y'all gonna know, like, man, what they was talking about was true. So laugh now, man. Cause laugh now all you want, but the time is coming. All right.
con, con, exactly. And
It's not even coming, it's here.
yeah, that's right. That's right. You know, because the prophecies are walking off the pages of the book, you know. You just can't ignore it no more. So if anyone else has something else to say, I'm gonna just go ahead and close it out. All right, so with that, we're gonna say peace and blessings to you, 12 tribes of Israel who were scattered abroad, Kathab La Panaf Babal, destruction to daughter Babylon, Shalom, peace and blessings.
Shalom.
Stay guarded up.